For today's tutorial, we'll be working on color changes using a graph using the Tapestry crochet method or technique. This is a graph that we'll be using, and you can take a screenshot I'll try to attach it to the description, but if I cannot, I would advise that you take a screenshot so that you can practice on your own. So explaining this graph, depending on the charts that you have, you might not have it numbered like this. Like, do we have 10 and then 20? Some charts have it numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all up until the end, and then they also have it numbered by the side. So depending on the charts that you have is how you're going to work your pattern. But on a normal day, your charts, you should work your charts from right to left, then from left to right, from right to left, then left to right, because you'll be turning your work as you're going. You'll be turning and turning back, so you have to work it right to left, left to right. This is theory. Let's get into the practical. So this will be my 1, my 2, my 3, my 4, my 5 till I get to the end, since I'm working from right to left. So let's get into it. So I'll be making a foundation single crochet that has 20 stitches. Since for my pattern I have 20 stitches, so I'm going to be making 20 foundation single crochets. So like I said, leave a tail that is long enough to accommodate your stitches, make a slip knot, then make your foundation single crochets. I'm sure by now you already know how to make a foundation single crochet, but if you do not, let me refresh your memory, or for those that are just joining us. So you make a slip knot, put your hook inside the yarn, wrap the tail around your hook, hold it in place, yarn over, pull through, wrap the tail around your hook, yarn over and pull through. So that's basically it. You just repeat this till you have the number of stitches that you need. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So now I'm going to, so this represents from here to there, and I'm taking this as my first row of single crochets. So according to the pattern, we have 3 rows of red single crochets, because we're using single crochets right now. We have 3 rows of red single crochets, so I'll make my second and my third row, and I'll be back once I'm done with that, since I'm taking this foundation single crochet as my first row. Okay, so I'm done with my 3 rows. And then for tapestry crochet, one thing is that you carry your yarn while you're working, and there's one thing that is common with color work crochet is that you need to plan ahead. So according to the pattern, our next color is meant to be green. The color that we're going to be changing in this row, because I already did 3, so the 4th row is where you have the green color. So I'm going to start my row as normal, but instead of just making it like that, because I know that particular row would have green in it, I'm going to take my green yarn and then attach it to my work, the piece that I'm working on. So this is how you attach it. So the yarn that you'll be changing colors with in that particular row, you put it over your hook, and then you hold it in place just like you can see in the video, and then just crochet as normal. Do your single crochets over it. Now while you're crocheting, don't forget to carry that yarn along. Carry it along. It's like you're crocheting on top of that particular yarn, like the yarn that you're going to use to change colors later on in your pattern. So I'm going to make the number of single crochets that I need to make before I get to my color change, and according to the pattern I need to make 9 red single crochets before I change to the green yarn. So this is me making my single crochets over the green while my hook is going into the normal red stitches. I'm just crocheting over the green one so that you don't confuse yourself. So right now we have 9 red single crochets, and I already have 9. So if you watched my video on how to change colors, I'm sure you already know what to do at this point. You're going to put your working yarn at the back then hold it in place at the back, and then you can either yarn under or yarn over when you're trying to transition into a new color. When you're trying to pull the yarn in, you can either yarn over or yarn under, but I prefer to yarn under because I feel like it gives me a smoother transition. And then you put your hook inside the next stitch, and then the red yarn that you dropped earlier, you pull it to make sure it's secure and then your tension is all right, and then you crochet the green over the red. So the technique in this is that you are always crocheting over another color, the color that you're not using. So now that we are done with the green, we pick up the red again, and then we yarn under, pull through, put the hook inside the next stitch, secure the green yarn, put it over the hook, and then crochet on top of the green yarn. So that's the technique in there. So I'm going to crochet until I reach the end, and I will show you what to do in row 2. So now I've gotten to the end of the row, and this is the back, this is the front. You can see that both of them look really alike. So now I'm going to chain 1, turn my work like a book, and then just like I did in the beginning, carry the green yarn along. So now I'll put my hook under the green yarn to make sure I'm carrying it along, under, then my hook into the stitch. You can see that I put my hook under the green yarn. I held it in place to make sure that it is between the stitches before I put my hook inside my piece, the panel that I'm working on. So now I'm going to make my single crochets over that green yarn till I reach my next color change. Don't forget to crochet over the yarn that you're not working with. Crochet over it. So for this particular row, I'm supposed to make 8 red single crochets before I change to the next yarn. I already made 8, and then I'm going to drop my working yarn and then pick up the next one. I'm going to yarn under, and then pull through, then put my hook inside the stitch while the yarn that I'm not working with is in between it. So you can see how I already placed my red yarn before putting my hook into the stitch. So now I'm supposed to make 4 green single crochets, and then once I get there, I'm going to then change my yarn again to the red color. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then that's the 4th one. So I'm going to drop my working yarn, pick up the next color, yarn under, pull through, and then put my hook inside the next stitch, secure the green yarn, put it over my hook, and then crochet as normal till I get to the end of the row. Then for the next row again, I'm going to do the exact same thing while following the pattern. So I'm going to make the next 2 rows, since all we're going to do is everything I've spoken about already. And then the next row after that, where we have the yellow, I'll come back and then show you how to introduce the yellow while you're working. Okay, so I'm done with my what row is that again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm done with my 6th row, and then for my next row, my 7th row is where the yellow is going to come in. So the red stitch for that row is about 4 red stitches, and then we have 4 greens and then 4 yellows. So because I know that I'm going to introduce another color, I'm going to add it from the beginning, just like we did with the green yarn. So I'm getting my yarn ready. So just like we did when we wanted to introduce the green, I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, put my hook inside, put my green yarn over my hook, and then I'll bring the next color that I'm going to be using in that particular row. I'm going to put it over my hook, and then hold it in place while I continue crocheting as normal. So right now I'm crocheting over both the green and the yellow yarn. So for this particular row, I have four red single crochets to make. So I'll make those 4, and then I'll change my yarn to the green one. Got to my 4th stitch, and then I will not complete that particular one. I'll drop my working yarn at the back, hold it in place, and then take up the color that I want to change next. Yarn on the pull through. Now put the yarns that I'm not working on after securing the red, and then put them at the middle, and then I crochet my green yarn over them. So for this I have 4 green stitches to make. So before I use the yellow, so that's 2, this is number 3, and then for number 4 I'm going to put my hook inside, yarn over, pull through, but I'll not complete the stitch. Drop that yarn that I'm not working with, pick up the yellow, and then yarn under and pull through. Now I'm going to crochet just like always, put the yarns that I'm not working on, put them over the hook so that I can put them at the middle and crochet over them. So basically in tapestry, all you're doing is making sure that all the yarns that you are working with, you're carrying them along while crocheting over them. So right now I've done my 4th yellow single crochet. I'm going to drop it. The next color is green, so I'll pick my green up, yarn under, pull through, and then make my 4 green single crochets while the yellow and the red are in between the stitches. So I'm just going to do this row like we've been doing every other one, and then I'll be back once I'm done with this particular row. So this is where we are currently at, and you can see how straight my edges are on both sides. This is one advantage of tapestry crochet. It helps you with your tension because you're carrying the yarn throughout the entire piece, and then there's no unnecessary stretching or pulling at one point or the other. So now when I first started this, my piece was 4.5 inches, and then moving on where I'm currently at, it is also 4.5 inches. So you need to always check your measurements so that you'd notice in time if your tension has been affected before you continue your work. So this is what the back looks like, this is what the front looks like. And as you can see, when I turn to the back, you'd be able to see those colors that were passing through it. They are showing. You'd be able to see when you're even facing it in front or at the back, because the front and the back are basically like almost the same thing. So that's one disadvantage that tapestry crochet has. But yeah, we already get the hang of this. But I'm going to make one more row with the yellow just to show you what it looks like. So I'm going to carry my yellow and green yarn before I make my first single crochet. And I would advise that you use stitch markers just to make sure that you're putting your hook in the right places, at least for now. Then when you practice, you can just do it as you like. Or even now, you can do it as you like if you feel like you'll not miss out on any stitches. So right now, I'm going to change to my green yarn. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4. You notice how I'm working from left to right and then right to left. Currently I'm working left to right. So I've changed my colors now, making 4 green single crochets, and then I'm going to change to my yellow. Then basically what we've been doing since, I just want to show you one more row. Chain to drop that, hold it in place, pick up my yellow yarn under, pull through, and then put my hook inside the next stitch after securing my green yarn. and then making sure that my green and my red are in the middle while I'm working. So this is 4. I think I'm just going to speed up this part because I think we already understand the angle of this and how to go about it. So this is what we have. We are currently here, and it just fits on the pattern on the table perfectly. But yes, I think we already understand how to go about this, and I'll just be showing you one row on how to do the slanting edge. That part is not entirely like you're decreasing colors. I know the green looks like it is decreasing, but it's just the number of colors that you need to make per row that is changing, not like you're making any decrease, no two togethers or anything like that. It's just the number of colors that is decreasing. So per row, if it says make two red stitches, you make 2. If the next one says make 1 red, then make 1. That would help with the shaping of your project. But I'll still do 1 row regardless, just to show you what it is like. So for this row, I'm supposed to make 4 red single crochets, then 4 green. So let's just get into it. I'll chain 1 and then turn my work, put my hook inside my stitch, make sure that the yarns that I'm currently not working with are in the middle in place. So I'm going to make 4 red single crochets, then I'll change my yarn to the green one. So here I have to make 4 green. I just changed my colors, secure the red, and then make my 4 green single crochets, 2, 3, and 4. But I'm not going to complete the last one because I'm going to change colors. I'll drop that yarn, change my color to the next one, yarn under, pull through, put my hook in the next stitch, make sure I secure the green yarn, and then put the red on top of it. So with practice you get faster. And then yeah, this is basically everything you need to know about changing colors while using a graph. So this is what the end of that particular row looks like. You can see that the number of greens have sort of reduced, and then it just has that slant effect a little bit. I didn't complete the row, but yes, that's what it looks like. I would advise that you complete the entire pattern and then practice again. Go over the video if you have to, but then just continue practicing and I'm sure you get the hang of it. The disadvantage of this method is that first off, it makes your work a bit heavy. It makes it very thick when you feel it because of all the colors you're attaching and putting at the middle, like when they are crocheting over, let me put it that way. And then you can also see the yarns that you're not working with, the ones that you were crocheting over, you can see them when you're looking at the piece. So all of these disadvantages, or I'll call them disadvantages, is what the float method is what it fixes. And then that'll bring me to my next video. That's what we'll be talking about in my next video. So see you in my next video.